Collingwood's game yesterday?
Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it. Yeah, kept a little eye on it.
What stood out for you?
Yeah, I thought both teams brought a fair bit of pressure around the ball carrier, so it was a little bit scrappy from time to time. I thought Collingwood's pressure generally throughout the main part of the game was pretty good, so we expect them to bring something similar next week.
Was there anyone you kept a special eye on with a view to next week?
In terms of tagging, or?
Yeah, just someone you think you might spend a bit of time next to?
Look, when you play in the midfield, fair few people sort of roll through there during any given game, so you can play on a number of opponents. So yeah, I've got a sort of general idea of how their midfield goes about it anyway. So they're a quality outfit, obviously. So
bit of a different look midfield than the ones you would have come up against before.
Yeah, look, I've obviously probably relying on Pendlebury a little bit more so now that Dane Swan's not there, but they got still some real quality through there. Dane Beadham's obviously, and still side bottom keep racking up the ball. So I think Harry L, I should say now, he spent a little bit of time in there as well, which is something new. So something to look at.
How are you feeling after the bit of a break?
Really good. Yeah, feel really fresh. Physically, we had a bit of a run around yesterday. Trained for about an hour or so, and felt really good. And obviously, mentally, it's just great to get away from footy for a few days at least. And I made a sort of a conscious effort not to really watch much footy or read about it or listen to it, sort of thing. So just really freshen the mind up and ready to attack the last bit of the season.
So does the vibe change a little bit? Does the vibe change a little bit then in yesterday's session compared to previous weeks, given that guys are a little bit more refreshed physically and mentally?
Yeah, I think you notice it. The way the guys are sort of running across the ground yesterday was evident that guys are really fresh. And just speaking to one or two guys as well, they said that physically they feel really good. So that's great. I mean, we only had about 25 guys train yesterday because of the Magpies that played the day before. So looking forward to getting out there tomorrow and Thursday and just having a really good week on the track and attacking Sunday as best we can.
What's more important, that physical or mental break this time of year?
Yeah, I think they're both like really, really vital. It's probably hard to decipher which one's more important, but I think people underestimate the mental side of the game and how much of a toll it can have on you when it's just footy constantly for sort of 10 months of the year. It can get very draining, and even just having 4 or 5 days off just to completely forget about it is really nice and refreshing. So I think that'll benefit a lot of the guys.
Do you reckon that's one of the things that benefits people just with experience, like a number of years in the system, that even during the season you can actually sort of switch off from footy and you realise it's not actually the be all and end all, whereas if you're 18, 20, you kind of just can't let it go?
Yeah, I think it's something that our group's probably dealing with a little bit at the moment. We've got a lot of younger guys that just want to be around the club all the time, want to improve, and even on their day off they're coming in trying to get better in some aspect. And a few of the older guys tend to sort of stay away and just get away from the club and get away from football just for 24 hours, and it's probably why they're able to perform a bit more consistently than some of the younger guys. But you certainly don't want to take that away from the younger guys for them to keep coming in trying to get better. But certainly mentally you can do with getting away for a little while.
It'll be handy to have Carlisle and Montfrey's back in the side this week.
Yeah, we expect those guys to get through training all right. They trained yesterday and all look pretty good. So it'd be great to get those guys back, add a bit of experience both in the offence and defensive part of the ground. So we're looking forward to that.
And how's Trengo coming along as well? Has he stepped up his training a bit?
Yeah, he's progressing really well, Jacko. He tends to sort of defy the odds in terms of coming back from injuries a lot earlier than expected. So he just attacks everything with a real positive mindset. So that's how he reckons he gains his edge over other guys. So we expect him to be back. Certainly within the next month. I can't imagine he'll be out for much longer than that. So.
Did you take some confidence from what you did against them last season?
Yeah, well, it's a little while ago now, and certainly a lot of things have changed. But we know that it's going to be a really, really tough challenge. They're kind of fighting for that 8th, 7th, 8th position at the moment. I heard Bucks speak sort of pretty positively about the way they went about it on the weekend, so they'll gain a little bit of confidence out of that. But we expect it to be a really tough challenge, and particularly going over there in front of their crowd. Their crowd's usually quite hostile, so it's something that we haven't been really used to this year, except for probably a couple of weeks ago at home against the Crows. But certainly love going over to the G and playing on those big open grounds to try and get our game going again.
Did the Melbourne win feel like a turning point?
Yeah, look, we thought we played some reasonable footy throughout periods of that game. Again, there was one period where we were sort of 4 or 5 goals in front and allowed them to get a bit of a run on, which was disappointing. But I think the most pleasing thing out of that game was our combination. So our tackle and contested possession count was right back up where we expected to be. So particularly our tackles, which I think we've really let slip over the last month leading into that game. So certainly something to build on. But we understand there's other areas of our game that we continually need to keep improving on.
Tackling's often sort of talked up as a bit of a mindset sort of thing, given
Yeah.
you sort of talk about the mental drain that a long season can have. Do you think that guys' sort of mental states sort of allow that to stay at that rate you were just talking about?
Yeah, I think when you win like a lot of games in a row, or just a lot of games generally, often you lose sight of how you actually got the win. And early on in the year, that was what we banged on about, and all throughout the pre-season was we know this is what is going to win us games. Let's make sure we do it, win the contestable, win the tackle count, and you're not going to lose many games by doing that. I think perhaps we just sort of were winning games without sort of realising that that's what it was taking to win them. So I think it was really positive for us to go back to just those basic fundamentals of the game, which we know wins us games, and to be able to execute it and get the win was really great for us.
Just on that, it's so tight from 1st to 5th,
Yeah.
that group that you're in. How hard is it just to concentrate on those things you need to without getting distracted by the big picture stuff and ladder and results and all that?
Yeah, look, it is tough. You do keep an eye on other results, obviously at the pointy end of the season, I suppose, and you want certain teams to win and certain teams to lose and that sort of thing. But leading into your game, the 24 hours leading into your game, it's 100% focus on what we need to do to be able to get the win. So
To look at the ladder now and go, if they stop the clock now, we're playing the mob down the road.
Yeah, it'd be very, very interesting. It's something that's obviously going to be spoken about over the next week or so, depending on what changes in the ladder sort of happen. But it'd be a cracking game, I'm sure of that.
How would you feel about playing against them?
Oh, yeah, it'd be unbelievable. Playing in any showdown is an incredible feeling, and just the atmosphere around the place is something pretty special. But to play them in an elimination final would be unbelievable. But I mean, having said that, it's at least 5 weeks away should it happen. But anything can happen between now and then. So.
I imagine not necessarily to avoid them, but you have your sights set on not being in an elimination final.
Yeah, I mean, ideally we want to win the next 4 games. 4 games to go. 5. 4. 5. Want to win the next 5 in a row and get as high as we possibly can on the ladder. So I think that's what everyone sort of hopes for and expects. So we expect nothing less either.
Would anything below top 4 finish at the end of the regular season be a disappointment?
I guess it depends on what perspective you look at it. So, at the start of the year, if people had said, you've got a chance to play top 4, to make the top 4, then we would have said, okay, it would have come as a bit of a surprise sort of thing, I guess, to a lot of us. But now that we've sort of put ourselves in that, given ourselves that opportunity, we expect that we deserve to be there, and we know that if we play our best footy over the next 5 weeks, we'll make the top 4. There's no doubt about that.